chat, and I apologize for that. I messed it up, which is not a surprise. I mean, if y'all watch my channel, you know I mess things up almost every time I start something. I gotta clean up these tools. But yeah, so that was not the way I intended for that particular live stream to go. But here I am if you want to chat with me. Hi, how are you doing? I'm waiting for my phone to come up so that it can say that I've got another live going. Wow, that was 45 minutes long. I am surprised about that. Wow. Okay. I did not expect that to be a 45-minute video. Why did my phone just pinch me? I'm not sure why my phone just pinched me, but yeah. So anyway, hello. I did not mean for that to be that way. I really didn't. I meant to have the thing on the chat available so that people could chat while I was doing that, but apparently I didn't. And nobody's here listening to this yet, but I'm pretty sure that somebody, one or two people will come in, because I know I have some people that, you know, they follow what I do and what I say. Oh, and now I've got 7 of you. Okay, I've got people here now. All right, now we can chat about it. Hi, Mary. Hi, nice to meet you. I not meet you. Oh, my spoons are so low and my brain is so fried right now. I don't know if y'all saw the post on Facebook, but I went into Ollie's and I overdid it, and I was overdone when we were starting to walk up to the register. And when we finally did get up to the register, the girl who checked us out was amazing. She was such a sweet person, and oh my goodness gracious, she was so kind and so wonderful. But she was new and she made several mistakes, and over the course of the things being checked out, people had to come up and fix things, because some things didn't ring up in the right price because the price on the sign didn't match the price in the system. Some things didn't ring up at all because they weren't in the system and there wasn't an Ollie's tag on it. But over the course of the time, 3 different people had to come up, and they were all men. And if you've read my post from January 26th, you know part of the reason why I'm a shut-in now and part of the traumas that I've experienced. And it sent me over the top big time. I mean, oh my gosh, did it send me over the top. So, hey, Mary Alice, good to see you. Hi, Susan. That's a new name. Susan Ann Taylor. Hi, Susan Ann Taylor from LA. Oh my goodness gracious. You're new. Welcome to the Chatty Crafty Guild. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm so happy to have you in the Chatty Crafty Guild. I love having new members in the Chatty Crafty Guild. We really are a fun-loving bunch of people who sit there and chat. And if you were in the last live stream, that is absolutely not a normal live stream for me. I usually have chat turned on, and we were usually just cackling about whatever it is that comes up. And hi, Amira. Yay, Amira's here. I hope you're okay. Well, yesterday, the Friday live stream, you disappeared after a while, Amira, and I hope everything was okay. And I had to mention something about that during the live stream, but you know me, I forget things. But I hope everything's okay, and I'm so glad to see you here. So, yay! Let's see. Oh, another new person. Oh, look at this humble thrift crafter from Nebraska. Woot, woot. Nebraska in the house. We got New York. We got a couple Florida in the house. We have California in the house. I have some of those wipes. Oh, yeah, these were from Dollar Tree. I have a lot of these wipes because my husband bought them for me before the price went up, because we got notification that the price was going up. And I used to use them a lot, and y'all know that. And there's like another 12 packages over there. I'm not pulling them all out because I'm just not going to do that. I'm standing up at the moment, which is why you don't see my arms very much. But I used to go through like 1 or 2 a craft session, and then I started doing this where I kept my little wipes inside a pill bottle, and they stayed usable for like a week. And I ended up throwing them away when they got too inky, not when they dried out. And now I have all of these things. I have so many of these packages, and I will never go through all of these. Now that I have a way to maintain them for longer than 1 use, maybe 3 uses, I'll never use them up. So I have boatloads of these little things. So yeah. Let's see, Valerie is here. Oh, Valerie's in the house. It's Sarcasm Station. Yay! Oh my, I'm set for a very long time. So Georgia, oh, Calcath, another new name. Oh my goodness gracious, I love seeing these names. Y'all are really I don't know if you understand how much this means to me. Y'all are really improving my spoons just by having new people in the Chatty Crafty Guild. Oh, goodness gracious. These live streams are hard on me. I do have to say that. I stress sweat all the way through them. Not that y'all needed to know that, but now you do. And they're really hard on me to do, but I absolutely love doing them now because they really do raise my spoons when I see so many beautiful people in here. I mean, really and truly, absolutely kind and wonderful people. Hey, baby bear, I've cleaned off your bed. You have to get out of my seat because I want to sit down. Yes, I want to sit down. You are so comfortably sleepy in my chair, but I need my chair back, baby bear. Come here. Here, we're gonna have a little baby bear notice. See, there's the baby bear. He's such a good baby. He's such a good baby. Here you go. You're in your bed now. Whew, I can sit down. Yay. Love me for doing them. Thank you. And yes, Amir, yay for a spoon increase. I appreciate. Yeah, Valerie, sarcasm. What? Yeah, okay, Valerie. Okay, yeah, I heard that comment, Valerie. I didn't just see that comment. I heard the comment, Valerie. I heard that one deep in my bones. Whoop, nope, you have to stay up on your bed. I know. You want to be down with mommy and you want to be snuggle with mommy because you know that mommy's low spoons. He's been sticking to my side so much today. I mean, he really has. I mean, he has been because he knows my spoons are low. He wasn't originally an emotional support animal, but he totally is now. Originally, he was a cat. He was my cat. Got him in 2019. I cannot believe he turned 7 this year. In fact, he's almost 7 now. He turned 7 in April. I cannot believe my baby bear is almost 7 years old, but he was originally a cat, and then the trauma that finally made me a shut-in hit, and he just decided that he was going to be my emotional support animal, and that's what he does now. And you're just not going to let me do this without you being right in front of me, are you? Oh, you silly little butt. You are such a silly little butt. Yes, you are. You're my baby. Mommy loves the baby bear. I love that spiral stencil. I would make a great card. Oh, yeah, this one. Oh, I love it. It came from Temu. And they actually have several of them, and I got the one that I really didn't want, and it was just a mistake. If you look at it closely, it's got holes in the center of it, and I wanted the one that was solid in the center, and he's behind me again. Oh my gosh, you're like cramming me out of my chair. He so wants to be right next to me. He knows that my spoons are down and low. He is such a good ESA. He was never intended to be an ESA, but that's just what he is. But yeah, so when the trauma hit, and all right, hold on, I gotta move my chair a little bit so I can be closer to it because he's taking up my chair. You gonna take up my chair? Oh, he's just gonna take up my chair. That's just the way it is. I'll put that back up there because he's not up there. But yeah, so I got the one with the holes in it. And they have other ones. I actually pay for the stencils that I get off of Temu because these stencils are only like well, when I was buying them, they were only like, 30 and 40 cents each. They've gone way up in price because I've been shopping on Temu for like 3 years now. So I was shopping on Temu before the tariffs hit and before everything went cray-cray on their prices. So yeah, so anyway, hi everybody. I'm sorry about the mess up with the chat in the other video. I really did not mean for chat to be off. I meant for y'all to be able to chat amongst yourselves, but apparently I did the settings wrong. Surprise. I don't even know if I have that one monetized yet. I'll have to check that with this. But yeah, so anyway, hi, welcome to the new people that are in here. I really appreciate having new people. Put a round sticker. Oh, Valerie, that's a great idea. Oh, I love that idea. Mask the holes so they don't show up. Thank you. Thank you. That is an awesome idea. I will definitely do that. Oh, and Valerie sent me spoons too. Yay. So, yeah, so I do apologize for that. I did not mean for that particular live stream to have no chat ability. I wanted y'all to be able to chat amongst yourselves. Hey, Elena, your package still isn't ready to go yet. Surprise. I'm going to see if I have the spoons to get it ready tomorrow. I just haven't had the spoons. I was supposed to get it ready for Friday. It didn't happen. I was supposed to get it ready for Saturday. It didn't happen. But your package will go out. It really will. And I hope you're staying warm. Oh my gosh, Elena. Yeah, you're right in the midst of that blizzard going on right now. And all of the weather channels that I have pop up, because I use weather channels as my emotional support background noise. because I'm not affected by most of the weather that they do. And when they are talking about hurricanes, you know, I've been studying hurricanes since I was a little kid. It's not that I need them. They're just emotional support background noise. So all my weather channels have been popping up with storm of the century. This blizzard keeps getting worse. You know, this is going to be a historic blizzard. So Elena, please stay warm and please stay comfortable and please stay in safe and all those other things, because you're right in the heart of that massive blizzard right now. So 28.8 inches. Oh my gosh, Elena. Oh no, and it's snowing in Virginia Beach right now, not according to Mary. Mary's telling us that it's snowing in Virginia Beach. Whoa. Oh my gosh. That is a lot of snow. Oh, I really hope that everything is safe and protected and well and everything. So yeah, I'm just cleaning up the stuff right now. That was I didn't intend for that to be 45 minutes long. That other one, I intended it to be a lot shorter than that, because like I said, I just did not have the spoons today to edit a video. And I kept putting it off, going, okay, if I wait a little bit longer, I'll have a few more spoons and I can edit a video. I took a long nap. It was kind of funny. Hubs and I both crapped out on the couch today. We just both. I was determined to take a nap, so I just leaned against him and fell asleep. And apparently, at some point in time, he also fell asleep. So we both had a nice long nap on the couch today. Butterfly kisses, yay! Welcome back. I haven't seen you in a while. Yay, yay, yay! Up to 18 inches in Philly. Oh my gosh! Wow, y'all be safe. We are prepared. Just continue. Just learned my daughter is still at work for another hour. Oh my gosh. Also, my roof and shed are really not strong enough for the storm. And oh no, Elena, I hope your roof stays. I didn't want to say that. I mean, you mentioned that in a chat, but in a message that you sent me, and I didn't want to mention that because I didn't know if you wanted people to know about it. But just concerned, learned my daughter. Okay, just concerned. Wow, you're probably getting 2 inches. Mary's getting 2 inches of snow. Wow. 30 inches of snow. I'm rounding off. 30 inches of snow is an awful lot of snow, Elena. Do be safe, and I hope that your roof and your shed are safe. Like I said, I didn't want to mention it because you sent it to me in a DM, and I didn't want to dox information that way. But yeah, so... Oh, he jumped down. He's now on the floor. Oh, good. That means I can lean back in my chair again. He is so funny. He is such a funny little baby. I didn't even change the thumbnail for this one, so it's just going to have my thing for it. Oh, another pop-up ad. I earned 1/10 of a penny. Yeah, it is crazy. And this is like it's near the end of February. You know, I don't remember there being blizzards like this at the end of February. I remember there being blizzards like this. I just don't remember them being this close to the beginning of spring, but maybe I'm just not remembering. Because, I mean, I've lived in Florida, so it's not like I paid attention to blizzards when I was a kid. I know that the weather has gotten much milder than it used to be. And hurricanes have gotten a lot more dangerous. Woo, hurricanes. And this year, oh my gosh, if you live in Florida this year, pay attention to the hurricanes. If you in any way need a new roof, you know, wait for the hurricane, because your insurance will cover most of it. It's one of the things about Florida is insurance. When you get house insurance in Florida, and not that anybody asked, but it came to mind, so I'm going to say it. When you get house insurance in Florida, you can have whatever deductible you want on any kind of damage except hurricane. The hurricane deductible is 2% of the value of your house, period. So if you have a $2 million house in Florida, your hurricane deductible is what, $40,000? Even if your house deductible is $500, your hurricane deductible is like $40,000. That is cray-cray. But that's the way the insurance companies do Florida, because, I mean, we do kind of stick out like a sore thumb. Kind of, sort of, just a little bit. Oh, say Chris. Chris is here. Hi, Chris. Wow, 28.8. I'm not happy with the estimate of 16 to 20. I wouldn't be happy with the estimate of 16 to 20. I don't like snow. I take that back. Snow is beautiful. I think snow is absolutely, when a fresh fallen snow and you get to see the pristine beauty of it. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I love it. But no, I do not want to deal with snow, which is why I chose Florida. I didn't want to deal with blizzards. I didn't want to deal with earthquakes. I didn't want to deal with tornadoes. I chose hurricanes. I know I've said that before, you know, because there's not anywhere live in the country where you're not going to have a natural disaster, I personally chose hurricanes because usually you get 5 days notice. And in those 5 days, you can prepare and you can watch and you can watch. One of the things about hurricanes is the steering winds are the most important thing. The hurricane itself is not the most important thing. And look, I've got a hurricane right in front of me. That was totally serendipitous. But the hurricane itself is not the most important thing. The most important thing in a hurricane is where the low and high pressure systems are. Because the high pressure systems are going to push the hurricane away and the lower pressure systems are going to pull the hurricane towards it. So if you've got a high pressure system sitting over Florida, then it doesn't matter how strong the hurricane is. The high pressure system is going to push it away and it's going to head towards the low pressure system. It is literally path of least resistance because the atmosphere is a fluid. Most people don't think about that, but gases are fluids. Liquids and gases are fluids because they flow. And when I used to say that in my classroom, my kids would go, nah, gases aren't fluids. And I go, yeah, well, explain wind. Explain wind without using the term flow or blow or travel. You can't do it. Gases are fluids. So you've got path of least resistance because it's a fluid. So our atmosphere acts like a fluid. So if you've got a high pressure system here, but a low pressure system here, the hurricane is going to be dragged towards the low pressure system. So when people start watching hurricanes and start looking at the path of the hurricane itself, I keep laughing because I'm thinking it doesn't matter where the hurricane is. What matters is where the steering winds are. It also matters how much shear it's getting. If it's getting a ton of shear, like Elena earlier mentioned, 55-mile-an-hour winds, if you get a 55-mile-an-hour wind coming across a hurricane, it's going to take that hurricane and shift it. And a hurricane that's off kilter cannot grow and strengthen as much as one that's straight up and down. So if you push it off kilter, like imagine that you've got the swirly thing in your toilet, but your toilet's at an angle. That swirl is not going to be a nice, pretty picture. It's going to be a huge elliptical thing. And it takes more energy to travel in an ellipse than it does to travel in a circle. So if you shift if you shift the top of the hurricane over through shearing winds, not that anybody asked about any of this, but here we go. If you shift the top of a hurricane over through shearing winds, it cannot get as strong because it's trying to run an ellipse instead of a circle. So look for the shearing winds. The stronger the shear, the weaker the hurricane's going to be, and look for the low and high pressures because it's going to move away from the high pressures and towards the low pressures. And if those high and low pressures move while the hurricane is moving, the hurricane is going to follow those. It's like little rivers in the atmosphere. It's so cool. But most people don't think about it that way. There you go. There was your little quick lesson on hurricanes. I love the science lessons that when we come into your lives. Yeah, I do. I do that. Sandy changed a lot for us there. Yeah. Sandy was an interesting storm, Valerie. I will say that. And I will tell you that Sandy, 10 miles offshore, was downgraded from a hurricane to a nor'easter without changing anything in its stats. None of its stats changed, but the National Weather Service changed it from a hurricane to a nor'easter when it was 10 miles offshore. And I have a very, very strong suspicion as to why they did that. Because when Sandy came through, the eastern seaboard didn't have hurricane insurance. And if Sandy had hit as a hurricane, then all of those people that lost their homes would not have insurance to cover them. But because Sandy hit as a nor'easter, they had insurance to cover their homes. That is, I have no proof of that. None whatsoever. That is a complete hypothesis. It is not a theory. It is a hypothesis. I am hypothesizing that the National Weather Service changed Sandy from a hurricane to a nor'easter so that the people on the eastern seaboard would have insurance when it hit. That their homes would be covered by insurance, because you can't in a political system have a whole bunch of really rich people lose their homes and not be able to claim insurance on it. There you go. So just my little 2 cents. I lost my wipe. I was wiping things off and it's not in the canister and I lost my wipe. I set it down. I don't know what I did with it. Did I mistakenly throw it in the garbage can because I was just oh, I did. Look at that. I threw it in the garbage can. There was a wet one in there. That's devastating, Butterfly. Oh dear. What did Butterfly say? I missed something. Just back this morning from high 70s in Atlanta to the, oh my gosh. Oh, well, if it's any consolation, Atlanta's going to get really cold. I don't think they're going to get the snow, but they are going to get really cold. But oh, do be careful, Butterfly Kisses, really and truly. By calling Sandy a superstorm, we got covered. You're correct. They actually admitted that. Oh, they did admit that. I never followed up on it to find out whether or not they admitted that. But yes, see, that was my hypothesis, was that they changed it so that the people who didn't have hurricane insurance would still get coverage when Sandy destroyed their houses. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Yeah, so we were just saying, I think they are saying 28.8 inches because of the cutoff number. Oh, so if it's more than 28.8 inches, then is that a difference between snowstorm, blizzard, or another term? I don't know snow. I don't know snow language. I don't know weather other than what I had to teach my sixth graders, which is not a whole lot. So I know hurricanes. I can talk for days about hurricanes. I have spent my life studying hurricanes. I don't know weather. I really don't. I know what a sixth grader knows about weather because that's what I had to teach. So yeah. So is there another name for it? Is there something like, is it like snowstorm, blizzard, something else? I just don't know. Not sure, but that's what we were just discussing. Oh, okay. All right. So cool. Oh, goodness gracious. My, oh my. Oh, so yeah. Be safe. Everybody who's in the path of this blizzard. Oh my gosh, be safe. Just, oh my gosh, be safe. And this year is going to be bad for hurricanes. And it's interesting what they're starting to say because they had an El Nino last year and they're saying that the El Nino is going to continue into this year. And if that happens, then this year is not going to be the worst in the cycle for hurricanes because it generally goes El Nino, La Nina, Katrina level hurricane. So one year you have an El Nino, then you have a La Nina, and then you have Katrina level hurricanes. Now remember that the Katrina level hurricanes was predecessed the previous year by Charlie. So it's not like the hurricane, the La Nina year is low on hurricanes. This was supposed to be a La Nina year for hurricanes, which means that next year was supposed to be the really, really bad year. But if it's still a continuing El Nino, then you've got a La Nina next year. So we might have fewer hurricanes if it's still an El Nino because El Nino suppresses hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean. It increases them in the Pacific, but suppresses them in the Atlantic. And then we'll have a La Nina and we'll have the Charlie, Wanda, whatever. There was a W storm that year. I can't remember what the name of it was. But there were like 4 storms that hit Florida that year, Charlie being the most devastating. And then there was Katrina. So, you've got the El Nino, the La Nina with bad hurricanes, and then the Katrina year. So that's what we've got coming up. And if this is another El Nino year, that means the La Nina is going to be even stronger, which means the following year is going to be even more devastating. Just for a record, Helene and Milton were the last of the El Nino, La Nina hurricane year. It was triptych. So they called it a kaboom, not a snowstorm. A kaboom. A kaboom. I haven't heard that term. Again, I don't know snow weather. I don't know snow terms. I'm not even going to pretend to understand the snow terms, but I've never heard. I've heard of a bomb cyclone, but I've never heard of a kaboom. If they didn't call it, if only they did that for the people that are rich. I agree. I agree with you completely, Butterfly Kisses. Absolutely. We're having scary weather every year. But the idiots in the White House say climate change. I know. It's like when Sandy came out. Oh my God. When Sandy came out, the cover of, I can't remember what magazine or newspaper it was, but there was one that we still had print media at the time. But when Sandy came out, the cover of one of said, "It's a climate change, stupid." I mean, literally the cover of like Time magazine said it's climate change, stupid. And still people are like, "Meh." I don't understand it. I mean, climate change is real and humans are causing it, period. End of discussion. The entire freaking world knows that. And even China, that's not doing anything to abate their carbon production, knows that climate change is real. They're just not doing anything to stop it. And then you've got the United States of America, which the last time I did the study on, uses 60% of the oil production in the world. Now, granted, that number is like 2 decades old because it was for academic decathlon one year back in the early 2000s. But that number is like 2 decades old, but at the time we're 5% of the population of the world. Literally, we are 5% of 95% of the people that live on this planet are not United States of America citizens. Let that sink in. 12% of the population of the world do not speak English. Here's another one for you. More Chinese people speak English than there are United States of American citizens. More Chinese people speak English than there are U.S. citizens. Let that one sink in. Anyway, those are some of my favorite stats to tell people. But yeah, I mean, we're 5% of the population in the world. And at that time, we used 60% of the oil production. And that number probably hasn't gone down very much, if it's gone down any at all, if it hasn't gone up. And that's just cray-cray. I mean, that's just insane. And, coming from me, that's saying something. Ha, 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 ha. But why do we feel like kaboom is not in the like kaboom is not a scientific word? I don't know. It's a chocolate word. We see kaboom stuff all the time from my Ollie's hauls. We got kaboom stuff here, kaboom stuff there. And for some reason, the large spheres are 74 cents and everything else is $1.99, and that makes 0 sense to me. And it has been consistent in every Ollie's that I have been in so far, that the large kaboom sphere is 74 cents and every other boom mold, regardless of size, shape, anything, is $1.99. I don't get it. I will never understand that. But yeah, they invent new words to get coverage sometimes. Also, some names are only used in the science community, so we don't know. That is true, Elena. Some words are only used in the science community. That was one of the things about COVID, is that, and it just irritated me so much because people kept on going back and forth about what scientists did or didn't say. And one of the things that just irritated me so much about COVID was that most lay people have never witnessed before science in real time. And COVID studies were science in real time. Science learns more and updates the information. And every time the information got updated, people said, oh, well, you lied to us. And science didn't lie. Science didn't know. And the more research was done, the more we knew, and the more refined we got. I know I talk about atomic theory a lot because it's a fun one, because I get to do the I Hate Aristotle speech, which is in Facebook if you want to go read it, because I love my I Hate Aristotle speech. But Chatty, in New York City, Chinese is a very popular language in our schools. Hey, cool. That is really, really cool. I love that. That's amazing. Do you know which particular... They probably are teaching Mandarin, if I were to guess. I would say that they're teaching Mandarin, because there's actually 4 scientific languages. 4 Chinese languages. And they are the regions, Mandarin, Hunan, Szechuan, and the other one. There's another one, I can't remember what. I love science. Yes, science is fluid. Everything's changing as we learn. Yeah, I love that. But I love the atomic theory, because you've got Democritus and Leucippus sitting there pounding rocks together way back in the school of Athens, oh, so very long ago. And then you have Dalton plagiarizing them. And then they broke the atom. They said the atom was unbreakable, and then they broke it. And it's like, oh, look, we have electrons. And I think it's so funny that the very first subatomic particle to be discovered was the smallest and fastest of them. It's like, how did y'all do that? Seriously, how did you find the smallest and fastest first? I'm just curious, but they found the electrons, and then Rutherford did his thing where an atom is mostly empty space, and then Bohr put the electrons in motion, and then they did the quantum mechanical theory. It's just science learning as technology progresses. That's all it is. And COVID made people look at science in real time, and people didn't understand that that's the way science works. Scientists argue all the time. One thing that, if I were to say Wegener, and ask you what Wegener did for science, I don't know how many of you would come up with tectonics, but that was Wegener's claim to fame. And the first time that Wegener mentioned that the Earth's crust was in pieces and was moving, he was laughed off stage. Literally laughed off stage. The scientific community went, ha, 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 you are so dumb. That is not even possible. Go away. And Wegener went, no, it's possible, and I'm going to prove it. And he did. And now we teach, plate tectonics like it's absolutely nothing. But when plate tectonics was first introduced, the scientific community went boo and go away. And I just love that. I Googled, okay, yay, Valerie on the Google. I Googled kaboom snowstorm. It is really a word. It is a snowstorm with 12 inches or more of being imminent. So a kaboom snowstorm is one with 12 inches or more. So what's the difference between a kaboom snowstorm and a blizzard then? If you feel like answering that question for us. Oh, there was a message retracted. So let's see. Yes, science is fluid. Yes, Mandarin. So they are teaching Mandarin in the New York schools. That's the most common of the Chinese languages, is Mandarin. I think everybody in China speaks, and don't quote me on this because I'm absolutely not a Asian expert in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But if I understand the culture correctly, and I'm not saying I do, if I understand the culture correctly, almost everybody in China speaks Mandarin, but a lot of them also speak the regional language from their area, be that Szechuan, Hunan, or whatever it is. I love science. Yes, science is fluid, ever changing. Yes, Mandarin. I had so many arguments during COVID trying to explain that things changed as we learn. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Elena. Science is fluid, and people had never seen science in real time. By the times the scientific discoveries come out to the lay people in the past, before COVID, we had already had all of our little bickering fights in the background. I mean, if you want to really set off a room full of scientists, and I mean really set them off right now, the big one, you just walk into a room full of science and yell, nature versus nurture. And the room will explode into conversation because you will have your nature people and you will have your nurture people. And I'm going to tell you right now, nature is winning. The idea that we are set to where we are because of our DNA is actually winning this particular battle, but it is not by any means solved. But back in the 40s and 50s, if you wanted to have an argument explode in a science room, you just walk in and yell, protein versus DNA, because everybody was trying to figure out what exactly was the genetic code. We knew that there was genetics because of Mendel like 100 years prior, but we didn't know what was causing it. And there were the protein people because they said, well, there's so many different proteins. Protein has to be your genetic code. That has to be what's you're doing in your genes. That has to be what's determining who you are, who you are. And then there were the DNA people going, no, it's the DNA. It's the only thing that is so fluid and organized in such a way that we can manipulate it. And so, I mean, it was that was the nature versus nurture argument of the 50s, 40s, and 50s was protein versus DNA. I had so many arguments. It is a Google Kaboom stores. It is message retracted. You asked for that one. Kaboom and Blizzard are spelled differently. Okay. So they took a few letters. So they took one word and made it the same thing. I mean, one letter and make it the same thing. So Kaboom and Blizzard are spelled differently. That'll work. I love a funny story about nature versus nurture. Yeah, I mean, I love nature versus nurture. But right now, nature is winning. I'm just going to say that. And that's another one that I keep arguing with people about because people just don't understand. Okay, this thing right here. I need a piece of paper and a pen. Yeah, I don't really want to ruin that anymore. Did you see how much I ruined this beautiful thing during my live stream? Oh my gosh, that was so bad. Bad me, bad me. Okay, this one I'm going to, I can ruin that because that's nothing. All right, so how many, if I say atom, how many of you picture this? And then there's 2 electrons here, and then there's 8 here, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there's 8 more here. I just want a yes or a no. I'm gonna wait about a minute to give y'all an opportunity to say yes or no. How many of you, when I say atom, picture this right here? This is what you see when you think atom. I'm just waiting. I have a half sister. I hadn't seen her in 35 years. Long story as to why, but people just say divorces and let's just say divorces and stupid people. Yes. So this is what Elena sees when I say atom. Okay, so I want to see how many other people. Nope. Okay, so Valerie. Aha, Valerie's on the other side of this. So this is not what Valerie sees when I say atom. No. Oh, yay, Chris. Oh, look at that, Mike Chatty Crafty. No. Okay. So y'all know. So do you know what this is called? Do you know what model this is? Just out of curiosity, do you know what model this is? Oh, wait. Are those of you that are saying no, are you seeing this one? Is this the one that you see? And I can't draw it very well. Is that the one that you see? So do you see 1 or 2? Because that might be different. You might be seeing this one when I say atom. So which one of these 2 do you see when I say atom? Waiting. Okay, we've got 30 seconds to wait. I'm going to go back cleaning things up because there's a 30-second delay between when I say something and when you hear it and when you get the opportunity to say it. So we get together after so many years. It's unbelievable how many weird things we haven't got. See, there you go. Both are atoms, yes. So some people see this one, some people see this one. You see neither. Yay, Valerie's still on that side. I've been taught both. Okay, very good. You've been taught both of them. Excellent, excellent, excellent. They're both wrong. They're both wrong. This is the Rutherford model. This is the atoms are mostly empty space. This is when Rutherford shot alpha particles into a sheet of gold foil, and I couldn't tell you exactly when that one came out. This is the Bohr model, and Rutherford was Bohr's teacher. This is the Bohr model, and this one right here was proven wrong by the scientific community in 1923. Yes, 103 years ago. This model was proven wrong 103 years ago, over a century ago. This model has been wrong for over a century. Seriously, 10 decades, 1/10 of a millennium. This model has been wrong. This one's been wrong for even longer. But this model has been wrong for over a century. Over 103 years, 1923 is when they published quantum mechanical model. Now the question is, if this is so wrong, why do we still teach it? Because I taught this model when I was a teacher. I stopped being a teacher 3.5 years ago now. I did. I stopped being a teacher 3.5 years ago, and up to 3.5 years ago, so at the nearly century mark, I was still teaching a model that was wrong for 100 years. Why is it that we still teach this? And the reason is, and I'm not going to show it to you because I don't have anything else. Oh, I do have something to look it up on. Hold on. I'll show you in just a second. I can't see the chat right now because I'm looking it up, and I'm going to show you exactly why we still teach the Bohr model, even though we have known for over a century that it is wrong. And it is way wrong. It is absolutely wrong. It is 100% wrong. We know it is wrong. We know what we think we have it right now. But the reason that we still teach it is because this is the quantum mechanical model for hydrogen. This is the quantum mechanical model for the smallest atom known. Right here. This is the quantum mechanical model for hydrogen. This is not the quantum mechanical model for helium, the next one up. Not even a little bit. Do you see that? Do you see that? Why do we still teach this? If this has been wrong for a century, why do we still teach this? Because that is confusing AF. If you need a kid to understand that there are levels of electrons and that there's 2 in the first level and 8 in the second level and 8 in the third level, this gets the point across. It's not right. It hasn't been right for a century. But it gets the point across. It really does. My sister and I both adore animals. Yay! We both can't have anything tied around our necks. No, I can't have anything pulling down on the back of my neck. I can't wear halter tops at all. I just can't. I cannot have things pulling down on my neck. I cannot wear heavy necklaces. I don't wear necklaces much at all anyway. But we both have a unique way of finding towels, yet folding towels, but fold them the exact same way. We bought the same exact couches. Oh my gosh, you bought the same exact couches. That's amazing. That is too cool. We both only use the smaller utensils. That's too cool. I used to get Baskin Robbins, and I'd get a taster spoon so that I could eat my ice cream with the taster spoon after that. I thought that was so cool. But anyway, yeah, that was quantum mechanical model. That is the correct model of the atom, but we don't teach it. We teach this one because this one gets the point across. It ain't great. It ain't perfect. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. It's been wrong for 10 decades. But we still teach it because it gets the point across. Why do they still teach Columbus discovered America? We are taught many wrong things. Yes, that's true. Still teaching Columbus discovered America isn't to get the point across. It's just because people haven't updated their brains. It's the same thing with the 3 primary colors being red, green, and blue. I mean red, yellow, and blue, because they're not. The 3 primary hues are yellow, cyan, and magenta. The 3 primary colors are red, green, and blue, and IT got this right. It's amazing because you have RGB monitors because the colors that are coming out of them are red, green, and blue, and you buy the ink per your printer as CYM because you're buying cyan, yellow, and magenta. That is the only industry that got color and hue and pigment correct. Every other industry says it wrong. And I honestly think that you're taught red, yellow, and blue because your elementary teacher doesn't think you can say magenta or spell cyan. So I really think that's why. But yeah, so truth be told, I majored in psychology and minored in chemistry. That's how I knew. There you go, Valerie. So when you got to college, they taught you quantum mechanical because you didn't need this in college. You needed the real one in college. In high school, this is good enough. And that's the same thing. The reason that I started talking about this is because of gender. Oh my gosh, to think that gender is XY is to think that this is an atom. The XY chromosome is such a minor portion of gender. Like this is such a wrong definition of an atom. The gender is based on the location, function, version, and viability of your SRY gene. Gender is actually controlled apparently by one gene. And yes, that one gene is on the X or the Y chromosome. And if it's on the X chromosome or the Y chromosome, that determines how well it works. And you can have so many differences in gender because of the location, the viability, the version, and the correctness. I forgot the other word that I used of the SRY gene. So yeah, I mean, why do we still teach XY? Because it gets the point across. But is it accurate? No. Why do we still teach Bohr? Because it gets the point across. But is it accurate? No. And people who argue with people who have been to college and have learned about SRY are just wrong. They're just wrong. So if you get into an argument with somebody, or you get in a conversation with somebody about gender and they start talking about SRY, and they start talking about X and Y, bring up the quantum mechanical and the Bohr model and say you were taught that because it was easy, not because it was right. Because that's what people do. They were taught that because it was easy, not because it was right. There you go. Let's see. The human body is much more complicated than most understand. It really is, Elena. It absolutely is. And one of the things that I absolutely hate about genetics was when all the genetics experiments and all the genetics things would use human traits as their examples, like eye color. You can't use eye color in a genetics experiment when you're talking about basic dominance versus recessive traits, because eye color is polygenic, and so many of the different traits that you have. You know about albinism. I'm obviously not albino, but you know about albinism. There are 4 different ways to be albino. There's not one way to be an albino. There are 4 different ways to be an albino. Either the melanin can't get into the cells, or it can't be broken down by the cells, or it can't be packaged by the cells, or it can't leave the cells. Those are the 4 different ways to be albino. It's not one trait that will make you albino. And if you have any one of those, you're albino. If you have any one of those breaks in the melanin production and melanin distribution in your system, you're albino. You can't use that as a gene trait for dominant and recessive. There are very few things in genetics that you can use for dominant and recessive when you're talking about humans. So I and a whole lot of genetics teachers used SpongeBob bikini bottom genetics because it got the point across and we could control everything. If I started as pain management debate, people lose their mind. See, there you go. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Because pain management is another one that people don't understand. Since becoming disabled, I have learned so much that we are misinformed about. I just had this debate this evening. See, there you go. It comes up all the time. And people, what really just annoys me is that people don't listen to when they're being told what is actually accurate. They are so steadfastly determined to stick to what is wrong that they're missing out on what is real. And I think that annoys me a lot. And that has a lot to do with the steadfast way that the waste of oxygen keeps on holding on to things that just aren't true. The reason medicine is a practice. Yep, there you go. Yep, there you go. That is absolutely true. If I started on the pain man, I already read that one. So anyway, yeah, so sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a science lesson. I could go for days on science. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. It is so cool. And when I was teaching science, it was always one of those things where I always challenged myself to find new ways to explain things to my kids, because I had to find analogies that would work for their brains, because they had, different ways of thinking, and I had to get past their ways of thinking. And another thing that a teacher has to do that a lot of people that have never been teachers don't understand is that teachers have to get past the damage before we can do the teaching. And that was a big part of my job, was getting past the damage. Because if you've got a kid whose mind is elsewhere because of traumatic experiences or damage or hunger or whatever, it's very difficult to teach them. It's very difficult to get them to pay attention in class. So you have to get past the damage first. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand, is when they go into teaching, they think they're just going to walk in and start teaching. And that is not the way it works at all. There's a bunch of damage that your kids are coming to you with. And if you don't address the fact that they have damage and they have things going on in their lives that are causing them to be distracted, then you're never going to catch them, and you're never going to get them to learn in your classroom, because they're going to be constantly thinking about whatever else is going on in their life. And sometimes that requires people being, other people stepping in to take care of the kid. And sometimes it's just a matter of giving them a snack. Really and truly, sometimes it is just a matter of giving a kid a snack. Sometimes you just got to give them a little bit of food, and that'll help. But you got to get past it first. Not that I'm preaching or anything. And I know the teachers out there, the good teachers out there, are going, yeah, that's exactly right. Oh my gosh. And the teachers that are just learning to be teachers are going, I never thought about that. And the bad teachers are going, nah, they're going to do it my way, or I'm going to kick them out of my room. So that's really the dividing line there. So yeah, I do like this kit. This was sent to me by one of the, like I said, one of the Chatty Crafty Guild. And I'm still not giving away who it was that sent it to me, because I haven't been given permission to say their name. But yeah, I love this kit. Oh my gosh, if you've run across this in an Ollie's, definitely buy it. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Because this is so cool. It's got, oh my gosh, you saw the way it worked. And I'm not good with it yet, but that's okay. I'll practice with it. And I'll get better with it. learning something incorrectly than having to fix it is much more difficult. That's true. In gymnastics, if you move incorrectly, it's harder to correct that, to teach correctly the first time. Yes, that's true. But I would still rather teach the Bohr model than the quantum mechanical model to a chemistry student in high school who is having difficulty because I just did nomenclature, and nomenclature is the worst part of chemistry. Atomic theory usually follows nomenclature, and I don't understand why, because that's just, it's two difficult concepts back to back, and nomenclature is awful. I will openly tell you that if you hear somebody said that they don't like nomenclature, they don't like chemistry, it's probably because they had a bad teacher who did not get them past nomenclature without absolutely frustrating them to the point where they just gave up on chemistry. Because nomenclature sucks. And it's the best system that we can come up with, but there's still 5 different naming systems, and you have to know whether you're talking about an ionic compound or a covalent compound, and if it's an ionic compound, is it also an acid, and if it's a covalent compound, is it also an organic compound, and if it's an organic compound, is it also an alcohol, because there's 5 different naming systems: the ionic system, the covalent system, the acid system, the organic system, and the alcohol system. It's like, yay. And it's still the best way out there. I mean, it is still the absolute best we have come up with for how to name these things. I'm happy you finally got it. Yeah, I am too. I was so thrilled when she sent me this, and I'm so thrilled that she sent me 2, because I get to keep one and I get to share one, and I love that so much. I really do. Y'all don't know how much I love sharing the stuff that I have. It may take me a long time to get packages in the mail, and yes, Elena, your package still isn't in the mail, and it's not even packed up yet, and I apologize for that. It may take me a long time to get the packages in the mail, but I really do love the fact that I get to share all of these wonderful things with the wonderful people in the Chatty Crafty Guild. I really, really do. You know, it's just amazing. It really is. I just love it so much. And I'm so definitely keeping one for me. Okay, I'm going to be a little greedy on the one, but I'm going to be totally generous on the other one. So there we go. Don't worry, I'm fine. Thank you, Elena. I'm so pleased. It will get out to you. I mean, there was a while there that I had 3 packages that needed to go out and several letters that needed to go out. It took like 3 weeks to get those out. So yeah, but yeah, so I've got 14 people, and Humble Thrift Crafters, yay! Oh, I already saw Humble Thrift Crafter. Did I see Humble Thrift Crafter? No, I don't think so. Did I already miss Humble Thrift Crafter? I can't remember. Humble Thrift Crafter, if you're still there, thank you so much. Welcome to the Chatty Crafty Guild. We are a really fun-loving group of people. We get together every Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we just craft and do stuff together, and it's an awful lot of fun. When I do other live streams, they're not generally set in stone like that one is. That one is the one that I love doing, because we get together and, hey, Doris, yay! Doris has entered the house. We got another Floridian in the house. Woot woot. But yeah, we get together every Friday night, and we sit there and we just chit chat and craft, and you know, it's like tea time and crafting, or you know, glass of wine and crafting, or whatever. You know, it's just a lot of fun. You know, we have a really fun time. We just sit there every Friday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I try to keep it an hour, and I suck at that. I really do. The last one was like an hour and 10 minutes. The one before that was like an hour and 15 minutes. If you go back at the original live streams that I did, they were like half an hour. Apparently, I got chattier as I got older. But yeah, so I love doing this. I love sharing crafting with people. This is another thing that I got from Temu. I got this for a penny too. I think there's 50 of them, and I'm randomly grabbing stuff on my desk now because, you know, I'm enjoying the interaction with everybody, because it really is helping my spoons, and I really do appreciate how much y'all help my spoons. I really do. But what I want to do with these is I want to make little dioramas with them, and they move. So I want to like glue down one part, but the other part will still be movable in the diorama. I just think that would be so cute. Like, look at the little snail. Look at that cute little snail. What is that? I think that's a puppy and a fish. Nope, that's a dolphin. Oh, it's either a dolphin or a whale, but it's definitely a mammal. It's not a fish, it's a mammal. And then there's another one of those things, whatever they are. There's another one of the cute little puppies. Oh, how cute. Hubs just went into the bedroom probably to feed the little lady that's in there. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's a hippo. Oh my gosh, look, it's a hippo. I did not know there were hippos in there. That is so cute. That is just adorable. I had been looking for that set for you, but my stores haven't gotten any of the Arteza set. I'm glad some. Thank you, Butterfly Kisses. I really appreciate that. I really, really do. I mean, it's amazing. If anybody sends me any more of them, I will give them away. I mean, if you want to, I will. If you find it and you want to send it to me, just bear in mind that I'm going to give it away to somebody else because I want to share the wealth on these things. I don't want to keep more than one of each of these items for myself, which is why when I buy 2 or 3 of the same item, eventually it will come up as a gift for somebody. Did you see Arteza makes them more? Oh my gosh. Oh, Elena? Oh, did you see that Arteza makes a more elaborate dowry?